How's it going, hippies, Mr. Mrs. Mrs. It's Julie with patch notes for season 3 of Gekishin Squadra. I missed out on season 1 and 2 because of mental health and having to take a break from the game, but now we are here for season 3. Let's look at them. Starting off with Trunks. Trunks is having his Vanish Strike and Burning Attack cooldowns reduced. Doesn't look like there's any semblance of damage in here, which, I'm not necessarily the maddest about. I think this gives Trunks players who are already good with Trunks more of a leniency in terms of skill cooldowns, but it gives bad players kind of more leniency in the form of skill cooldowns, because now they're just less punished for missing their skill shots, which Trunks was more of a skill-based character as it was from the beginning, where if you could land his cooldowns in pretty decent succession, you were off to the races with them. Whereas now the cooldowns essentially being decreased means that there's going to be a lot more players who aren't as skilled with Trunks being able to get more results, which kind of muddies the water a bit between skill expression and just ability clearance. Not too much though, but that's just my opinion on this. Cooler's Cooler final form, his destruction rate is skill 1, so it's just his I-beam. It's having the cooldown reduced from 6 to 5 seconds. That's good. And the duration of continuous pillars of fire increased to 5 seconds across the board. Okay, so he's just getting an outright damage buff. He's getting better damage over time with I-beams. That's pretty good. I don't think that he necessarily needed it, but having it 5 seconds across the board is still, pretty good. It's better early game, and it kind of falls off late game, even though that 5 seconds being all the way across is still pretty good. But it's definitely going to be more of a priority early game now versus his big pressure area of effect. So we will look more into that. The damage interval for continuous damage for Pillars of Fire has decreased, so it's longer and there are more ticks in between. So if I'm doing the math correctly, because this is 0.25, that means it's 4 ticks every second for a total of 20 ticks across it. So the damage of the continuous damage for Pillars of Fire has decreased by half. So we're having 20 ticks across 5 seconds, doing 50 damage per tick, which will amount to 1,000 damage, where before it would be 600 to 700 to 1,000. So now it's just 1,000 all the way across. So yeah, no, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a weird buff slash nerf where it's buffing Cooler's early game potential, but it's also nerfing Cooler's late game efficiency by making the destruction ray the same across the board. But I can't really complain about it. It's still Cooler as a whole is really good, but I would say it's still the second best ability. It's definitely more in contention now for Superstart than it was before him, because having that 1,000 at rip for Superstart is actually, now that I think about it, when it comes to Superstart, this kind of is nullified in it, because you have the maximum damage of it from the get-go versus going for that. So you're more incentivized to do the skill 2 with Superstart versus doing just doing the skill 1 for the maximum damage outright. So that's that. Dabura. Oh, he's got a lot. Okay, let's take this one step at a time. Passive, Demon's Domain. AoE range per level increased from 0.3 to 0.4 meters. Demon's Domain, that is his ability to turn you into stone, I think. Petrification gauge buildup for enemy heroes decreased every 0.25 seconds from 3 to 1 to 2 to 1. So he can hit from further away. So he can hit from further away per level up. However, the downside is that he will not be doing as much petrification buildup. I like that. I'm not a big fan of Deborah, so any chance to not have to be petrified from him is good enough for me. Darkness Spear's cooldown is going from 7 to 7.5. The duration of no vanishing step has decreased from 4 to 3 seconds, so you can get it back quicker. But the other side to that is now that you are not necessarily locked in from being unable to vanish, so you can potentially outmaneuver that. That is a kind of a shadow nerf. Duration of movement speed boost effect when moving towards the enemy pierced decreased from 4 to 3 seconds. So the chase down is a bit nerfed, but otherwise, the fact that you were able to get the Darkness Spear back as much as possible. These are more just balancing to make sure Darkness Spear doesn't become the best skill in the game with how much it kind of locks down an enemy. Movement speed boost when moving towards enemy adjusted from 75 100 to 50 75 100. So that's per level, I'm assuming. So now it's not just you just go level 2 and be done with it. You are now actively incentivized to get it to level 3. Evil Frame's cooldown has been increased from 6 to 7 seconds. That's fair. It's a strongest ability. It's one of his more damaging. I think that's the one that makes petrification kind of the problem that it is. So with the AoE being increased, increasing Evil Flame is not bad. Helpers crash has been decreased from 60 to 45 seconds. Okay, no one was using it anyway. Maybe now it'll get some use, but moving on. Art of Decoy, the movement speed gain has gone from 40 to 50%. Vanishing step cooldown recovery increased from 30 to 45. Okay, so these are also in line with the vanishing step cooldown new divine draw, and it's just gonna make this a more monstrous it's gonna make it more monstrous divine card combo, but we'll have to see how crazy it is once the patch has been in for a couple of days. Guardian Angel's damage reduction has been increased from 20 to 25%. Thank you. I like this. I don't like the idea that, well, let me rephrase. I think Guardian Angel having damage reduction is great. I was not a fan of how little it did and how I very much felt like it wasn't necessarily needed to be able to get the job done. There were already better tank-based, defensive-based divine combo cards, but increasing damage reduction is not going to hurt anybody in the long run. It may make tanks a little bit tankier, but that's kind of what you want. But otherwise, these two are just fine per se. Nerfs. We have Son Goku. Meteor Hammer is being nerfed. Okay. Additional input effect of Kaioken change. Staggered now. It changes from staggered to applies movement speed down 70% for 1.5 seconds. Okay, so you're going from being stunned to being slowed. I am a fan of that. I think Meteor Hammer got way too much value for being as short of a cooldown as it was. I know it got nerfed, probably like season 1, um, but having the staggered ability let you combo with things that I don't think should have been too fair. Having movement speed down lets you play around that per se, and it still lets you escape. So it makes for a more engaging gameplay. It makes Meteor Hammer not just a brain dead play skill 2 with the engagement type fight. So there's that. Kaioken's skill stock reduced from 112 to 111. So you are not allowed to have more than one of each ability. I think that's what it's saying. Is that you're not allowed to have more than one of each ability now when you're doing Kaioken, like when you're stacking up on Kaioken. So you can't have, like, multiple Meteor Hammers, multiple Kamehamehas or anything. You're only having the one extra when you Kaioken, so you can't just spam damage altogether. Movement speed has been increased slightly from Kaioken, so outright it is faster. So you're gonna get a bit hunted down a bit more under level 1, but not by much. Spirit Bomb has been slowed. Yes, Spirit Bomb is one of the strongest ultimates in the game because of how big it is, and any extra time to be able to escape is good. It is still a half a second, so it's still gonna hurt like hell because you're not fully gonna get out of it in time, but that half a second is going to matter. Distance before damage fall off begins decreased. So instead of being 4 meters from Goku, you have to be 2 meters from it. Immediately great. It's making Spirit Bomb less of an automatic I win button, which I love. Duration after bomb impact reduced from 1 to 0.5. Wow, they're just gutting Spirit Bomb. Happy day. So damage decreased from 4,000 across the board to 3,500 across the board. Okay. Kaioken additional input decreased from 42 across the board to 35 across the board, and Kaioken additional input explosion damage increased from 2k across the board to 1,500. So you're not getting any additional procs, and you're getting like reduced damage via Kaioken. Kaioken into Spirit Bomb is not necessarily going to one-shot anybody. Not one-shot, it still will, but it is way more in line for what Goku is, which is like a beginner mid-range character, and I am all for it. Spirit Bomb needed to be nerfed at some point. Mini Goku, Daimaku, passive battle gear, strike damage increased per 0.1 second, decreased from 20 to 12. Wow, was he doing that much damage to where they had to damn near cut his damage in half? Oh lord, I don't see enough Daima Kid Goku, Daima Son Goku Mini, Kid Goku Minis. Like, I don't see enough of them anywhere for that to be the case. That is alarming. Strike damage maximum increase value decreased from 800 to 600. Yeah, so they are like decreasing the amount he's building up, and also decreasing the maximum amount he can hit for. Which, yeah, no, that is just Diamond Goku. God, they didn't touch Pansy Bomb, they didn't touch Glorio, so you still have pretty good distance-based skills, but like, geez, I am not too sure. I'm not too sure about that. That's damning. Ooh. All right, Lightning Swift. Lightning Swift is getting an additional cooldown of 6 seconds. That, yes, because they know exactly what's going to happen. That was one of my biggest fears going from the dev talk into like this little nebulous period was that stuff like lightning swift, where is it, limit breaking jump, which actually doesn't seem to be on here, which oh no, lightning swift and limit breaking jump being something of a powerful broken combo under the vanishing step cooldown rules. They seem to be taking an additional step towards making that balance happen, because they know about the game rule repercussions because of it, which is good. I'm glad they're taking that step in the right direction. Super snowball attack power decreased from 75 to 40 and additional number of all attack up 5. Okay, so let's do the math here real quick. So 75/4 is 300. 45 is 200. So they're not only forcing you to engage more to be able to get that stack up, they are making snowball harder to maintain, harder to re-up, and harder to maintain, harder to like fully max out, and less damage for it. All good things. Snowball was the damage card for a while. It kind of fell off for like lightning swift as more people learned about how to get into the game. You could definitely make snowball work if you were very smart about your engages and everything. You had a proper team with it. But snowball getting this hell of a nerf is probably the best thing. I think that it needed it. I think that snowball shouldn't have been that strong to begin with, but they've learned. Build up. All defense up increase reduced from 30 to 15, so it's cut in half. Necessary NPCs for all defense up increased to 2 to 3, and the additional number of all defense up 10 to 15. Okay, so you're cutting it in half, requiring 1 extra kill per NPC, and then but you are also increasing the number of stacks. So for 30 for 10 will be 300, 15 for 15 is 225. So this is a 75% defense down, 75 points of defense down. Not too bad. Build up is still pretty good. 225 defense up is still pretty good, but that requiring of 3 NPCs per level is definitely going to make it way more time consuming. You are definitely going to have to like do a lot more jungling in NPC farms to be able to get a relatively similar amount of defense orient from that. Solid barrier, the barrier duration has been reduced from 2 to 1.5, and the cooldown has been increased from 10 to 15. They are just gutting the defensive ones. To be fair, build up, solid barrier, defense step, those were all really good. Not defense step, but build up, solid barrier, too easy. They were all really good. So to have something to change that up is also really good. Also, it's just it was one of those divine combo cards that you essentially got for free just by existing, and they want to make it less of a just free card and more of a you work for what you get, and you still have to play. You still have to have skill to make those cards work type thing, which seems to be the thing across this nerf, is that like the divine combo cards are becoming more of an assistance to skill versus compensation for lack of it, which is good. Defense cooldown being 4 seconds longer, fine by me. Adjustments. Gotenks' Galactic Donut. Time between skill activation until the donut is thrown has been shortened. Okay, that's pretty good. I play a little bit of Gotenks. I played a little bit of Gotenks. I haven't recorded that video, but I played a little bit of Gotenks, and that donut definitely has a time where it feels like you can't get anybody in it, because obviously you want people to be able to have the awareness of doing it, but like there's also the combination of vanishing steps, movement tech, all that, and just like letting skill activation and donut throwing be slightly more conjoined is good. I'm not even mad about it. Adjustments: Gotenks' Ghosts skill 3 have been increased from 6 to 7 seconds. The field of vision has increased for the Ghost from 5 to 7, but the damage has been decreased from overall 450 to overall 400, and it gets weaker overall. It's, let's see, you go from 35 to 45 to 50, so it's not necessarily the same big jump, but it is overall damage decrease. I think that, like, I don't know why they don't consider that a nerf. It's like it's a conjoint of both buffs for the Ghost in the field of vision and nerfs on the damage and the cooldown. So I understand. Lightning Step the apply of no skill or attack effects removed. Cooldown reduced from 13 to 12 seconds, and assault rush damage increase has been increased on the stack. So it still starts out at 100, but increased by 10 to 15 to 15 to 15 instead of 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. So 10, 15, 15, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15. Well, no, it's 15 across. It's 15 across until instead of like going to 20. So more consistent damage across it, just a consistent linear damage increase instead of having like those first two stacks be relatively poor. That means 18 on first assault rush is actually getting more damage in, which is good. So divine combo cards, Liberating Jump. Thank God I saw this. Activation condition change: when Vanishing Step is cooldown, while Vanishing Step is cooldown before cooldown ends. While Vanishing Step is on cooldown before cooldown ends, while Vanishing Step is on cooldown. Additional cooldown 6 seconds. So you are not allowed to. Actually, no, it's a buff for Liberating Jump, because now it's just while it's on cooldown versus before it ends, and I feel like that's definitely to take into account the game mode. The additional cooldown of 6 seconds is also in account of it, where the new game mode is going to make Liberating Jump a hell of a card. I like seeing them take this proactive measure on the cooldowns. Gekishin rules: Jackie-chan has been replaced for 16, and the movement range of the boss that appears in the center radius has decreased from 50 to 10 meters. Star Collection: Broly has been added to number 1. Topo has been added to number 2. Gotenks had bug fix where ghosts remain undetected if the hero was not detected. So that means the ghost will now be seen even if you aren't. Gekishin rules: if the targeted god instruction is KO while charging a Gekishin burst or after charging it but before it deals damage, Gekishin burst will now be interrupted and stock for the activated skill will not be consumed. That is great. There have been many times where I was doing mini Gekishins on a boss, and they got it through, and ally came in, got it before I could fully finish it, and I lost that cooldown. That cooldown would definitely have been necessary for a fight, and you lose the fight because of it. Not necessarily in the way that it makes games flip on a dime, but it definitely was a nuisance to say the least. I appreciate that, especially in the wake of Sparkly Stardust being gone. Makes it overall a nice quality of life change. Change matchmaking to reduce the likelihood of being matched with the same party twice in a row. I don't know how much this is gonna change depending on how group-based matchmaking works. Where if you are a 4-stack, depending on how it goes, like when you get matched with another 4-stack, like I don't think that changes that much. It's probably more in the direction of solo queues, so fine with that. Change the number of battle participants in custom battle from a fixed 8 players to 4 to 8 players. Got you. Battle starts with teams have at least 2 players, applies all rules, including Gekishin rules and sub rules. Alright. And then added delete user data to other. User data cannot be deleted in game, cannot be deleted in link with the Bandai Namco ID. After deletion, you can either start a game from or transfer data. Okay, cool. CPU battle. Added battle rules, CPU battle in beginning, intermediate, where enemy heroes are always controlled by the CPU. Increase the aggregate amount of Zeta you obtain for the battle pass. Increase the amount of Zeta you obtain from bonus missions and battle score rewards. Okay, just more Zeta overall. I'm glad to see the game is becoming more efficient in its economy to allow more people to like grind out the later stages of the star pass to get characters. Always a good thing. But overall, I think that is it. Overall, I think Cooler is going to be a problem. I think Lightning Swift and Limit Breaking Jump have been reined in properly, but we will have to see again, and stay tuned later on in the week for my Vegito video. Thank you all. I love you, and I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.